All right, here we go. So same idea as the last video, just another place to practice. So would highly recommend that you pause this video first, go through, see what you get, and then come back and kind of evaluate and see how you did. One thing I want to remind you as you go into this, or kind of give you a pointer, be real careful about your units. In particular, look at what happens to pi with your period. So again, please do pause and try this on your own, and then come on back to check your work. All right, so I hope you have in fact paused, and let's go ahead and take a look at it. So amplitude, that's going to be the absolute value of your A. And what is A on this one? It's 2, so your amplitude equals 2. Absolute value of 2 is 2. And let's put 2 in right there. Absolute value of 2 equals 2. Next we have our period. And the period is going to be equal to 2 pi over your B value, which for this one is going to be pi over 2. So what is 2 pi divided by pi over 2? Well, we don't really ever divide fractions. That's going to be the same thing as 2 pi times the reciprocal, so times 2 over pi. 2 times 2 gives you 4, and pi divided by pi, that's just 1. So we end up with a period of 4. And notice that's kind of different than we're used to. We're used to having either specifically degrees or radians in terms of pi. And notice our radians don't have pi in this one. So we're still dealing with radians, though not they're not in terms of pi. So just notice that as we go through here. All right, then sketch at least 2 cycles of this graph. And so what is the period? The period is 4. So how do I know how often to have a marker? Well, kind of those key points, a tick mark. We're going to figure out what's 1/4 of 4, and clearly that's 1. So it looks kind of like a more traditional graph. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Going the other way, -1, -2, -3, and -4. All right. What is our maximum minimum going to be? Well, our amplitude's 2, so 1, 2, and 1, -2. All right, now we can go ahead and sketch our graph. So at 0, what's the cosine of 0? Well, it's going to be 1. Multiply that by 2, and because of our A value, and there we are. At 1, that's our first key point, and so you're thinking to yourself, okay, where is cosine at a quarter turn around the circle? And that's at 0. At 2, we're halfway around the circle now, and so now multiply that by our A value. We'd have -1, multiply that by 2, so we're at -2, and so on and so forth. Alrighty, so here's our sinusoid, or our sine wave. Got a little squirrely there at the end. But hopefully you can see, here's what our graph of y equals 2 times the cosine of pi halves times x, or pi over 2 times x. Hope that helps.